The tension was building long before kickoff. The Cleveland Browns were heading into their second preseason game of the year, a matchup that should have been about ironing out wrinkles, testing depth pieces, and giving fans a glimpse of what the season might hold. But instead, it became the backdrop for a brewing quarterback controversy that threatened to overshadow everything else. At the heart of it all stood Kevin Stefanski, the head coach now under fire for making a bold and, as many see it, questionable decision choosing to start Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. On the surface, it looked like a simple coaching call. But as the game unfolded, and as the story surrounding it grew louder, it became clear this was about far more than just one preseason game. From the very beginning, the move raised eyebrows. Gabriel, the rookie quarterback, was handed the start against the Philadelphia Eagles, while Shedeur, who had been turning heads with his poise and playmaking ability, was left watching from the sidelines. It was a decision that immediately begged the question, was Stefanski underestimating Sanders? Or was this just another part of the chess game coaches play during the preseason? The answer, at least on that night, didn't seem to favor Gabriel. When Gabriel took the field, there was an undeniable sense of anticipation. Fans wanted to see whether he could live up to the challenge, whether the decision to put him ahead of Shedeur could be justified. But what followed was anything but encouraging. Gabriel opened cautiously, trying to ease into the game with short, conservative throws. At first, it looked like he was attempting to play mistake-free football, leaning on the protection of a strong first-team offensive line. Yet despite the support, he never found rhythm. His passes lacked conviction, his reads seemed hesitant, and the offense sputtered. What was worse, he failed to score a single touchdown or generate any meaningful momentum. Then came the mistakes, the kind of costly errors that can define a quarterback's night and, in some cases, their career trajectory. Gabriel threw into coverage, leading to turnovers that shifted momentum in Philadelphia's favor. Andrew Mukuba capitalized, picking him off and taking it the other way for 6 points. That moment wasn't just a turnover. It was a dagger, one that cut into Gabriel's confidence and exposed the glaring gap between him and the man waiting on the sidelines, Shedeur Sanders. And yet, when Gabriel faced the media afterward, his focus wasn't on accountability. Instead of reflecting on his mistakes, he took a veiled jab at Sanders. He spoke about the difference between entertainers and competitors, words that carried the weight of dismissal. It was an attempt to paint Sanders as more of a showman than a serious threat. But to anyone who had watched Sanders play, the statement rang hollow. Because if Sanders had proven anything so far, it was that he was not only an entertainer, he was a competitor through and through. A young quarterback with the poise and precision to thrive under pressure. What made Gabriel's comments even more striking was how disconnected they were from the reality on the field. Sanders had already demonstrated his ability to stretch defenses, to make throws into impossibly tight windows, and to stay calm even as pressure mounted. Analysts like Emmanuel Akko were quick to highlight Sanders' unique skill set, dissecting his plays and marveling at his accuracy. Those needle-threading passes most quarterbacks would never even dare attempt. Sanders made them look routine. His ball placement wasn't just good, it was, in Akko's words, perfect. And while Gabriel had been busy talking about who was or wasn't a competitor, Sanders was out there proving himself every snap. Stefanski, for his part, couldn't ignore what was happening. In his post-game remarks, he tried to strike a balance, acknowledging that there were positives, while also admitting that Gabriel's mistakes had been pivotal. 2 turnovers in the first half had cost the team dearly, and while the Browns' defense stepped up later with a game-changing pick-six from KJ Henry, it was impossible to overlook the quarterback's struggles that had led them there. Stefanski's words carried the weight of disappointment. And even though he didn't single Gabriel out harshly, the message was clear. Turnovers like those cannot happen, not if this team has aspirations of competing in the AFC. The contrast between Gabriel and Sanders was stark, not just statistically, but in style and demeanor. Gabriel played not to lose, sticking to short throws that cramped the offense and forced receivers into contested low-reward routes. Sanders, on the other hand, opened up the field with confident, accurate deep shots to targets like Floria and Larvain. His ability to keep defenses stretched changed the complexion of the offense entirely, giving his teammates room to operate and turning stalled drives into scoring opportunities. It wasn't just about arm strength, it was about vision, leadership, and the ability to elevate everyone around him. And then there was Sanders' demeanor off the field. Unlike Gabriel's thinly veiled comments, Sanders' post-game interview revealed humility and focus. He spoke not about individual glory, but about consistency, leadership, and the responsibility of guiding his team through ups and downs. Acknowledged the struggles, admitted the challenges, but never once shifted blame or looked for excuses. Instead, he emphasized the importance of staying level-headed, of bouncing back, and of leading by example. For a rookie quarterback, it was a message that carried the weight of maturity far beyond his years, that humility didn't go unnoticed. General Manager Andrew Berry took a moment to express pride in Sanders' growth, even engaging in some lighthearted banter with him. The exchange might have seemed small, but the undertone was clear. This was a quarterback earning the respect of the locker room and the front office alike. Sanders wasn't just performing on the field. He was winning hearts off it, building trust that could define the franchise's future. Meanwhile, Gabriel seemed more concerned with saving face than with learning from his performance. By dismissing Sanders as an entertainer, he inadvertently revealed more about his own insecurities than about his teammates' approach. Leadership isn't about tearing others down. It's about elevating yourself and those around you. And in that regard, Sanders had already separated himself. The Browns may have escaped with a 22-13 victory over the Eagles, thanks largely to their defense. But the real story was about the quarterback room, if Stefanski thought he could quiet the noise by giving Gabriel the start, he only amplified it. The calls for Sanders to be recognized as the rightful leader grew louder, and the pressure on Stefanski mounted. Fans weren't blind to what they had witnessed. They saw one quarterback falter under pressure and another rise with calm, quiet confidence. They saw the difference between words and actions, between ego and humility, between playing not to lose and playing to win. This wasn't just another preseason storyline. It was the beginning of a defining narrative for the Browns season. Would Stefanski stick stubbornly to his decisions, or would he recognize what was becoming increasingly obvious? That Shedeur Sanders wasn't just the better option, he might be the future of the franchise, because at the end of the day, football isn't about flashy interviews or hollow words. It's about what happens when the lights are brightest and the pressure is heaviest. And in that moment, Shedeur Sanders proved himself to be more than an entertainer. He proved himself to be a competitor, a leader, and perhaps the quarterback the Browns have been waiting for. So now the question shifts from the preseason to the bigger picture. Was Stefanski's decision simply a misstep in an otherwise controlled plan? Or was it a troubling sign of misjudgment? Can the Browns afford to gamble with their quarterback position when the margins in the NFL are razor thin? Most importantly, has Shedeur Sanders already won this battle, whether Stefanski admits it or not? But what do you think? It's Kevin. Stefanski make a mistake by starting Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders? Do you believe Gabriel's comments about Sanders being an entertainer reflect confidence or insecurity? And how much does a quarterback's character and composure off the field matter when compared to raw talent on it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of the Browns preseason drama, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest updates in the NFL world.